Well, our senior correspondent Femi Akande joins us now from Abuja to tell us more about this book. Femi, you were at the event earlier today. Tell us more about what happened there, especially the dignitaries that graced the occasion.
Indeed, Veronica, this is considered to be an ominous event coming at a time when the 2019 general election is just about 3 months away. And of course, with the array of dignitaries that graced the event, former ministers that served on the in the cabinet of former President Goodluck Jonathan, former governors of the People's Democratic Party, former heads of state in Nigeria, and indeed heads of state in Africa, and even serving heads of state in Africa. Most of them sent their representatives, but we had the former president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama. We had the former president of Benin Republic. We had the former president of Sierra Leone. We had some top dignitaries, members of the People's Democratic Party, and indeed also the All Progressives Congress made a strong appearance there. Of course, the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshomole, was also present. You know, his presence caused quite a stir, stirred. Of course, people were surprised to see him come in, and everyone cheered him, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, had to talk about the need for political parties to be peaceful, of course, at the time when it appears that nerves are frayed as campaigns have started. You know, this book is coming at a time when the elections are coming, and you know, just this time in 2015, former President Goodluck Jonathan was also in campaign mood. He was campaigning, seeking re-election, but eventually he lost that election. But the major topic of discussion was his singular action of conceding defeat. Even before the whole election, the whole votes was collated and an eventual winner announced. As soon as he saw the signal that he was going to lose that election, he conceded defeat to the now incumbent President Muhammadu Buhari. And people are still commending him for that singular action. They said that action indeed is rare among African leaders who would rather cling on to power and then become despots and against the interest of the people. So this whole area of leaders, political leaders, and even former heads of state still goes a long way to say much about the influence that President Goodluck Jonathan still holds in the circle of African leaders.
All right, let's talk about the book now. Perhaps you might want to give us an insight or excerpts from the book, because from your report, you said that the book or the contents of the book might ruffle some feathers. How so?
Yes, that, of course, was the words of President Goodluck Jonathan. He said in the book, a lot of things have been said about him after he left power. You know, politicians have, there have been so much mudslinging leading to the election, that's the 2015 election, and even after the election, a lot of things were said about him. And he also said that in that book that he gave an insight into the whole abduction of the Chibok girls in 2014. You know, that was one issue that really marred the Goodluck Jonathan administration. And he said in that book, he gave an insight into that incident. And he also dispelled widespread rumor at that time that the Boko Haram insurgency was sponsored by his administration to decimate the voting population of the North. He said he dispelled that rumor in the book, and also other issues. He also mentioned names of principal actors that he said advised him against conceding defeat. He mentioned that, and he also talked about those that gave him good counsel, good counsel to concede defeat. He also jocularly told the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshomole, to go and read the book, that because his name is mentioned twice in that book. So I believe politicians, political, of course, actors would all be interested in getting a copy of that book, as President Goodluck Jonathan has decided to tell it all. Everyone is interested to know what transpired at that critical time in the country.
Quickly, Femi, do you think this is what is making them say that this would make the book a bestseller?
perhaps they could be correct by saying that the content of the book would generate so much interest, and then the book will definitely go to become a bestseller. And it's coming at the time when the campaigns have started. Some things in the book could be used in favor or against politicians and political parties. So because of the interest this book will generate in political circles, everyone is rushing to get a copy of this book. And but it was not just the public presentation of the book. The foundation, the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation, was also launched, but everyone was talking more about the book than the launch of the foundation. Handsome donations were made by the Bayelsa state government and some other state government, PDP-controlled states. They also made handsome donations to the kickoff of the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation. But you know, the book, the transition, My Transition Hours, that's the President Goodluck Jonathan book, was the main focus at the event today.
All right, our senior correspondent Femi Akande, thanks for bringing us up to speed with the launch of the book My Transition Hours by former President Goodluck Jonathan.